You wake up already mid-thought, not stressed, not calm, just aware that something inside you is slightly tense, even before the day has asked anything from you. You reach for your phone without deciding to. You know you don't need to check it. You do anyway. And somewhere in that small, automatic moment, you feel it again. That quiet sense that you're reacting to the day instead of choosing it. It's subtle, easy to ignore, but it follows you. As the morning unfolds, nothing is technically wrong. You get up, you move, you function. But every choice feels heavier than it should. You hesitate before responding to a message you already understand. You delay a simple decision, telling yourself you'll think more clearly later. You soften your own opinions before anyone even challenges them. You're not overwhelmed. You're not confused. You're just slightly disconnected from your own authority. By the time the day picks up speed, you're already a step behind it. Not because you're incapable, because you're adjusting, constantly. At work or wherever your responsibilities live, you notice how often you wait for clarity instead of acting from it. You reread things you've already read. You open tabs you don't need. You tell yourself you're being thorough, but it feels more like hesitation dressed up as responsibility. You're doing enough to stay afloat, not enough to feel solid. The frustration doesn't arrive all at once. It comes in waves. A quiet irritation when you realize how long you've been getting ready to start. A brief spike of annoyance when you catch yourself avoiding something small but important. Then, a familiar thought. Why do I keep doing this? By afternoon, you're tired in a way rest doesn't fix. Not physically drained, mentally dulled. You still show up. You still respond. But there's a distance between you and what you're doing. Like you're watching yourself perform your own life from a few steps back. You know you're capable of more focus than this, more presence than this, more self-trust than this. And that's where the quiet regret starts to form. Not loud, not dramatic, just a low-grade disappointment you don't fully name. In the evening, when things finally slow down, you feel it more clearly. The day didn't fall apart. But it didn't move forward either. You replay small moments, things you almost said, choices you almost made. The version of yourself that felt just out of reach all day. You tell yourself tomorrow will be different. Not because you believe it strongly, but because it's comforting to think that way. Later, when the world is quieter, the numbness sets in. You scroll without interest. You watch without attention. You fill time without remembering why. And underneath all of it is a question you avoid answering directly. How long have I been living like this? You don't feel lazy. You don't feel stupid. You don't feel unmotivated. You feel paused. And that's the part most people miss. The problem isn't effort. It's not intelligence. It's not a lack of desire. It's the invisible forces that never announce themselves as enemies. Comfort that feels earned. Distraction that feels harmless, routine that feels stable, delay that feels reasonable, tomorrow that feels infinite. They don't attack you. They reassure you. They tell you there's no rush, that nothing bad is happening. That you can decide later. And because nothing collapses immediately, you keep agreeing. You still have goals. You still care. You still think about who you want to be. But slowly, without noticing when it started, you stop fully trusting yourself to follow through. So you lower the stakes. You keep things flexible. You avoid clear lines that would force a clear response, not because you're afraid to fail, but because you're tired of disappointing yourself quietly. There's a strange feeling that comes with that, like standing just outside your own life while it continues without your full weight in it. You're involved, but not grounded, busy, but not aligned, aware, but not anchored. And the fear isn't dramatic. It's quieter than fear usually is. It's the sense that time is moving, and you're adapting to it instead of directing it. That realization doesn't arrive all at once. It builds slowly. In moments when you notice how automatic your reactions have become. In moments when you realize how often you choose what's easy over what feels honest. You see the gap more clearly now. The distance between who you are in your head and who you consistently allow yourself to be in real life. And for a while, that awareness just sits there. Heavy, uncomfortable. No solutions, no motivation, just the truth, unsoftened. Then, gradually, something shifts. Not externally, internally. Because here's the truth you've been circling around without naming. Mental strength isn't built in big moments. It's built in the smallest decisions you usually dismiss as insignificant. Not in intensity, in consistency, not in willpower, in self-trust. The people who feel solid inside aren't constantly pushing themselves. They're not endlessly motivated. They're not immune to comfort or distraction. They've just stopped negotiating with themselves about who they are. And this is where everything changes. Discipline, when you strip away the noise, isn't about restriction. It's about alignment. It's self-respect made practical. It's choosing in private what you want to stand by in public. It's the quiet power of keeping small promises even when no one is watching. Discipline isn't punishment. It's relief. Relief from the mental friction of constant indecision. Relief from the low-grade stress of avoiding yourself. Relief from the exhaustion of knowing better but acting softer. When you begin to see discipline this way, the same moments feel different. That hesitation in the morning becomes a choice point instead of a habit. That urge to delay becomes information instead of a command. That quiet discomfort becomes a signal, not something to numb. Nothing about your life changes overnight. Your environment stays the same. Your responsibilities don't disappear. But your relationship with yourself starts to shift. You stop asking, "Do I feel like it?" and start asking, "Is this who I said I am?" You stop waiting for clarity to arrive and begin acting from the values you already understand. Not loudly, not perfectly, quietly. The same days, the same tasks, but a different internal posture. And here's the part that matters most. Mental strength doesn't feel like confidence at first. It feels like steadiness. It feels like fewer internal arguments, like decisions that take less energy, like respecting your own word enough to make it mean something again. No dramatic transformation, no sudden certainty, just a gradual return to yourself. So now, as you move through the same moments that used to drain you, there's a question waiting beneath them. Not urgent, not loud, just honest. In the next small choice you face, will you default to what's comfortable, or will you act like the person you know you're capable of being?